Hello, hello, and welcome to Front Row Vendors Podcast. I am your host, Autumn, and I am super excited about this one because like I said, I've talked to my friends before and I've said, hey, we need to get like a wedding venue that is a greenhouse. And lo and behold, Daryl and Sara are here from the Laurelbrook, who have a venue that is a greenhouse that's industrial and simple. So my dreams today have already come true. So I'm super excited for you guys to hear from them. So you guys tell me about yourselves, because I know you are with Harmony Weddings, which is a coordination. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Awesome. And then also doing with Laurelbrook. So how'd you guys get started in the wedding industry?
So I'm Sarah, and I actually work here at Catering Works. It's our in-house catering at the Laurelbrook. So as far as myself, I actually got started working in weddings on the venue side and a few other venues here in North Carolina. Part-time, actually. I was in local government finance and just decided I needed a fun job on the side. And I was fortunate enough to find a great space, and it just turned into domino effect. And here I am working, doing offsite catering as well as catering here at the Laurelbrook. And I actually used to work with Harmony Weddings. Yeah. So that's exciting to have them here, and they kind of help out with our social media marketing and also doing our tours and venue hosting here on site.
Yeah, and I used to work in the luxury market a couple years ago, and then kind of transferred. I was working in Winston-Salem, but living remotely, and then I wanted to find a job that was here since I lived here, and so I met Anissa, who's the owner of Harmony Weddings, and got started with her, and I'm one of their lead planners. I absolutely love it, and something cool that we do is we work with a lot of venues in the tri-state area, but Laurelbrook's one of our favorites because we run the social media for them, and we lead the tours, like Sarah said, and we venue host. So yeah,
it's
cool.
Stunning too, because they just had an open house right in January last month.
No, we're having. Well, if this airs after January, then yes, it will be after. We're recording it a little bit before, so yeah. If it does air before January 18th, that's when our open house will be. So hopefully, if it's after, we hope we saw some of you, but we have them quite often. So we'll certainly have another one again.
My mind is already set that we're still in December. so I don't know what. So how long has Laurelbrook been here for?
So actually, the greenhouse itself has been around for quite some time. So we're located just inside the Beltline in Raleigh, and it's kind of an industrial area. So prior to Catering Works moving into the attached buildings for our catering kitchen as well as our sales offices, it was a variety of different industrial users that were in the space, and they added on that. So it's probably at least about 15 years old, but Catering Works has been in the space for about 7 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. So we just upfitted it within the past few years, and now we're really trying to get into the wedding industry because of, like you mentioned, there's not a whole lot of other venues that are quite like it.
No, and it's so breathtaking. The window lighting that you guys have is amazing. It's literally a photographer's dream come true walking in there.
It is. Yep.
Is there a certain point that you guys, when you were just before getting into weddings, was there something that made you, was there a wedding that you guys took on that made you go, oh, this is definitely what I want to be doing, is being involved more in weddings?
I would definitely say, as far as on the catering side, I mean, honestly, every wedding is different, and that's what I truly love about it. I love that every couple is different. Their needs are different. Their desires are different. And I just love seeing that creative side. I'm not personally a creative person. I'm more of a logistical person, but I love seeing other people's creativity and helping them with that. So, I mean, just being able to see all the different styles of even just styles of venue, but that's especially what I love about the Laurelbrook. It can be just simple. You can bring in all different types of decor and other things and make it just extravagant. So we work with all different styles there. And so that's what I love about weddings. That's where I really feel like this is something I could really enjoy and do really well.
Yeah, and as a team, we came to a Catering Works tasting here and just fell in love with the space because we agree with you. It's beautiful and we saw the potential and we were like, we want to help you out media-wise because this place, I mean, you can do so many things and on the outdoor patio or inside. You can open the garage doors and do both. And it's just an awesome, awesome space. So that was, even though it was the tasting that we came here for, because you utilize Catering Works when you book here. And of course we enjoy that aspect, but even though we came here for the tasting, we were like, we got to be a part of this team because we love the space so much. So
Heck yeah. So when someone books with you, when a couple books with you, what do they normally get with you guys?
So I guess I kind of take over usually around the booking stage. So you get me.
Awesome.
Hi, Sarah. So as a sales consultant, I kind of walk through every aspect of your wedding. So kind of walking through not only the catering and the food, beverage, and those type of aspects, but also just walking through helping you find other vendors. So obviously we allow outside vendors. We also do have other sister companies here on site, Bloomworks and Pastry Works. There are floral and pastry divisions. So we can do everything from your traditional wedding cakes to like pickup sweets, donuts, dessert bars, all that kind of fun stuff. So just kind of walking through all those details. But yeah, if you book the venue, you get myself kind of walking through all of that with you, but also as far as the actual physical space, it's a 3,300 square foot greenhouse. So just floor to ceiling light during the day. And then often, obviously the reception, depending on your timeline, could be in the evening. So we do a lot with like up lighting and stuff like that, which we also can offer here in house. And then there's also an outdoor patio. So it's a paved courtyard, a lot of times utilized for outdoor ceremony space. It can also be tinted to add an extra capacity for up to 200 folks. So you get that space as well. Also included are some tables and chairs. There's an assortment of different tables. So from your cocktail tables to seated tables, all that kind of stuff. And then we have our rustic metal chairs. There's 100 of those. And if the capacity is above 100, we can certainly help rent the rest. And then you also get time for your rehearsal as well as our dressing suite, which we're actually in right now.
yeah.
Oh, awesome. So do you guys have two suites or just you have one or two for the bride and groom or groom and groom?
Yeah, we just have one. We just have one dressing suite,
Awesome.
but we're in the heart of downtown, so we're really close to a lot of the hotels in the surrounding area. So there's still opportunity to get ready really close by, which we think is really cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Have you seen like a popularity on where people would probably want to get their ceremony done inside or outside? Is there like one that's prettier than the other, you think?
We have had a lot outside just for the simple fact that a lot of our couples really just like utilizing it. It has market lights. It kind of has a different vibe. We just actually upgraded and did painted the walls like a nice simple white. So it really pops with different colors if you bring in flowers or if you bring in just any other type of decor out there. That's what I've seen the most. I will say having the availability to be able to do it inside and we just flip the space is great. Because obviously North Carolina weather, we never know, especially in the popular fall season, you never know. But it also helps. We are right around the corner from some pretty major rental companies for as far as tinting that outdoor courtyard. So if that's something that someone wanted, we can certainly do that to do the ceremony or the reception outside. But being able to have those two different styles of spaces in the location that we're at, being that it's not really common, anything inside the Beltline, anything close to downtown like this is not, you're going to not find a lot of outdoor space. So the fact that we have it is nice. We've kind of dressed it up a little bit with some garden boxes, things like that.
Wow, man. Do you guys find like, do you have your own certain kind of couple that comes your way, like, or like personality trait wise?
Well, we feel like weddings are headed in a really unique direction these days. People are not really just hitting up the church and then having a simple ballroom, reception afterwards. A lot of people are wanting something unique. And so we attract a lot of couples that want that, but still want to be in the heart of downtown.
Right.
So we get a lot of people who are into the natural lighting and who want to utilize both spaces, not just the patio, but like Sarah said, it's one of the only spaces in downtown Raleigh that has a big enough outdoor space for a good amount of guests. So
it's seriously
I
exciting.
I definitely do think it's a unique, creative, fun couple is what we normally see. And I'd like to say that that's everybody, but just really having that vision to say, you know, you've got these industrial beams and but you can really make that beautiful. I mean, we've had, so one open house we did over the summer, we went more of the floral, like pretty greenhouse. So like using that natural light, using that pink blush tones, those type of things with lots of greenery. And so seeing that transformation till now, this open house in January, we're doing like leathers and those type of more industrial like feelings. So you can really see all aspects there. It's not just going to be just one type of couple that's going to be attracted to the space, just really being able to have that creative eye and say, you know, I want elegant or I want laid back. We can do all levels of that spectrum.
Okay. Another thing that we see often too is busy couples or out of town couples, because it's a one-stop shop. If you want to you utilize Catering Works, which is really cool. And then if you want to utilize Pastry Works and Bloom Works, then there's really not a lot of more planning that needs to go into it. Besides, you know, things like your planner who helps you with those things, or your photographer or DJ. But it helps when we do have a lot of people who get married in Raleigh who are out of town. So it helps to kind of have that one-stop shop feel as well.
And you guys are like a chameleon. Like she was saying, like the fact that you guys are able to change it from one look to the next and fit almost every single kind of style of a couple is phenomenal. Because you can't do that. Like you were saying with the ballroom, you can only go so far with the ballroom.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think ultimately the owners of Catering Works here, Jill and Lauren, when they kind of moved in the space, obviously upfitting it, that was kind of their idea. They really wanted a space that fit the feeling of Catering Works as a full service caterer. Like our events, you know, are always super nice, but we do try to reach all levels of customers. We want them to ultimately, especially when it's their wedding, everyone to feel special. Like, and that's one of the things they have instilled in us as a team here. And they definitely let that overflow into the Laurelbrook as a venue.
Wow. When do couples usually book with you guys? Is there like a time frame you usually see?
Well, 9 months to a year is average for any venue, only because you can't really plan anything without your venue because you don't have a date.
Right.
So yeah, usually 9 months to a year.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I will say, being newer in the wedding industry, so we also do a lot of corporate here. So there's some of those lead times are a little bit less. So being newer in the wedding industry, we kind of do have a little bit of give. So we do still have some availability this fall, whereas a lot of other local venues don't. So that's kind of nice. So if you're still looking in the fall and you just really are dead set, definitely let us know. But I think I do foresee that going more towards the 9 to 12 months as we continue getting in the wedding market, because those weekends they book up quick.
Heck yeah. Well, is there like a wedding that you guys have done that was probably the most funnest or the most creative?
I would say like one of my favorites since I've been here is we actually did this past fall a wedding for one of actually Catering Works employees. So that's always fun. You know, the team atmosphere here and the family team atmosphere is like huge for the size of company it is. And so for her to choose of all the venues, choose a venue that, you know, she was comfortable with because she works here, was awesome. And they did brunch, which is great, like a daytime wedding. You don't see those all the time, but it really utilized that.
And you guys got off early too.
Yeah, that is kind of nice. But actually that day we worked a couple offsite weddings, so we were still here. But no, being able to just really take that natural light we're talking about, just really take advantage of that, but really have fun with the menu too. So obviously having in-house catering, that can be fun. Everything we try to do is custom, so really being able to play with some fun different menu items you don't always see at weddings is always a great thing. We like customizing it to the couple, what their favorites are, what their guests will really enjoy, things like that. So that was probably one of my funnest, just because having fun with that menu is always fun, but also just being able to really show off the space was really great.
And light is the best at brunch time.
Oh, I can't even, because your guys' windows are a little bit like foggy, so it doesn't like allow direct sunlight, so it softens it really pretty.
Yeah.
So give me an idea about the catering. Like, what kind of food do you have? Like, I'm already starving. I don't even know what you make.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have a lot of sample menus on our website, cateringworks.com, but, I mean, everything. So being in the business for 30 years. So like I said, Jill and Lauren, they're our owners. They started 30 years ago here in the Raleigh market. So over time, you can imagine just recipes they've picked up. And honestly, a lot of times it's more of trying to narrow down to what people are really enjoying, more so than putting more out there, because we have so many. I mean, you're talking about tens of thousands of recipes in our system. So we have a lot of fan favorites, a lot of like past orders that are great, but really it's sitting down, talking to a couple, kind of the style of food, whether it be stations or buffet or things like that. That's one thing that's super in is stations. So, you know, your taco bar that has everything on it, and your slider stations, your pasta stations.
Your potato bar.
Those are still in. They are still requested quite a bit. They've been around for a few years, but yeah, they are still requested quite a bit just to have that more relaxed feel. But yeah, so I mean, all different kinds of stuff. And that's really where we sit down, even to, this was an offsite wedding, not here at the Laurelbrook, but it's certainly something we could do here as well. I had a client who the groom, his mother had passed away, but she made a certain, pork skewer that he just loved, and they wanted to incorporate it in the reception, and they sent over the recipe. We built it in our system, and we're serving it at their wedding. So things like that, just really personalizing it. That's what's important to me, but also that's what here at Catering Works, they really instill in us when we talk to these couples. And so obviously at the Laurelbrook, you're going to get that plus some, because we're right here.
Wow. Do you guys allow any possibly engagement shoots if it's the couple that's going with you guys for the wedding?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we definitely don't have any issue with that. Some of that's just around like being able to schedule that around other events that are going on here. But yeah, that's definitely something we offer.
We've had style shoots here. We've had baby showers here.
Oh.
We've had, I mean, you can do a rehearsal dinner here. It's an amazing space for whatever type of event really you want to have circling around celebrations.
Wow. Is there something that you guys feel like makes you guys really different from everybody else besides being a phenomenal greenhouse? I keep wanting to bow down to you guys for that, because and then having so many of the like the catering and the flowers and the desserts. Is there anything else that you guys feel like stand apart from everybody?
I would say beyond just the physical aspects of the venue and obviously all the services we offer is just, and I've mentioned it, I know, but I can't like impress upon it enough. I feel like it's what sets Catering Works as well as the Laurelbrook aside from other venues that have in-house catering is just the team that's here, the professionals. So not only has obviously Catering Works been around for 30 years, but a lot of our event managers and people that are staff that are working with our couples during their day have been here for 10, 15 years. So you're talking about people that really know what they're doing. They're able to put out fires as they come up, but it just really, people leave a lot saying, and it's what attracted me to come working here. And, but you just really just get to feel like a part of that family. So I think that's a big thing that you get, especially when you're here at the Laurelbrook, is you just really get that one-on-one attention. You just really feel like part of the team, which is great.
Yeah. And I think too, being a part of the Harmony Weddings team, we get to work here quite often. And I think that's really special because we also add to the team in a separate way. And we take our values and our goals very seriously. And we like to cultivate relationships with our couples. And so even if it's on a phone call or leading a tour here or venue hosting during a wedding, we like to cultivate peace and joy and a celebration of someone's day. So yeah, I think the team aspect really sets us apart.
Yeah. And I think just that excellence also, being around, not only here at our, the vendors that we cover as far as flowers. And, you know, we do allow folks to bring in other aspects. You know, if they have Aunt Sally that's made everyone's wedding cake in their family, we welcome them to bring that. Insurance wise, otherwise we have to handle all the food and bed, but we definitely don't mind that. But like if they want to do their own flowers, and that's where, again, meeting people at their own budget, or just their own needs and wants, is really important. So, but fostering those relationships, like Daryl said, with other vendors in our area, just, it means that we do have some recommended or preferred vendors, you might call them. They're not required, but, you know, being able to work with those folks and them coming into our space and saying, oh, we just love it here. It's so wonderful to work with Catering Works. It's so wonderful to work at the Laurelbrook. It's so wonderful to work with Harmony Weddings. All of that kind of stuff is just what you also get. You get strong vendor relations, which can really change your wedding day as well.
Wow, man. Can you guys give the listeners an idea, how important it is to hire a damn good team for their wedding?
That's a really big deal. We push our preferred vendors list more than we push pretty much anything else, from the Harmony Weddings aspect and from the Laurelbrook aspect. And the reason we do that is because, number one, as a planner, we get to be in contact with every type of vendor. So we work with every aspect of the team on the wedding day. And we know what works and who works well together and who really isn't a team player, which is really what it boils down to. But a lot of the people on our preferred vendors list are people that we trust to serve well, also are a good price point for our couples, because we don't necessarily believe that you need to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on your wedding. But also we really appreciate, like I said earlier, cultivating people who cultivate relationships. And I think it's really important to put the client first and to remember that we might have a wedding every single weekend, but they don't. This is their only day that they get. And so if you're working with a team full of people that work together often and recommend each other, then you're guaranteed that it's going to be smooth sailing, and that the goal is going to be unified, I guess, for the couple.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I definitely think a wedding ultimately boils down to two people, to the couple. So personality, this is a personality driven industry. So much of it, you want your team to reflect your personality, whether it be your planner coordinator, because they might be making those last minute decisions on your wedding day so that you're not stressing about them. So you want their personality to match. So being able to match that personality is so important, because so many people see the bottom line number. And obviously you have to be mindful. I know we both talked about budget a million times, but I feel like that is what drives so many people when they're planning their wedding. But think outside of that as well. They're at all price points. You can find some great folks, but really being able to vet those folks and use reviews and preferred vendors list and things like that, to really, because you want those people to match your personality. I mean, planner especially. I can think of DJ. I mean, all of those types of things outside of catering and your venue. You can have a pretty space, but if it's not staffed well and those team members don't work well together, it makes it really difficult. So that can be really important.
And what's really cool is that if you hire a planner that you trust, which you should, trust your planner, then we've already done the research for you on our preferred vendors list.
Right.
Because even though you can spend hours and hours looking at reviews, we can just tell you who is awesome and who we think will serve you best and who will match your personality, because we get to know the couple the best. And we also know the vendors really well. So we can kind of help guide you personality wise, vision wise, and things like budget wise and things like that on your day. So
you guys are like your own little Google for the couples. They don't have to do any Google. They just go to you.
Yep. If only people knew.
Right.
So much time and money. We really
exactly. Is there a time that you guys feel like you went above and beyond for a couple?
So that's a tough question, because I feel like that's our job, is to go above and beyond for our couples. Just because, I mean, we're the first ones there, along with venue host. We're the first ones there and the last ones out. And so really we're there to make sure that everything runs smoothly according to timeline and logistics wise and things like that. But also we're there to remember that grandmother, you know, is allergic to this type of food, or remember that dad really wants to be there for the cake cutting, or to remember everyone's names, or to remember, you know, that it's really important to the couple that their dog comes for their first look. Like it's really our job is to look out for the couple on their wedding day and their friends and family, because that's why they hire us, to serve them well. And so yeah, I don't know if I could think of a specific example, only because each wedding is very unique. And we try to gauge, even in the first coffee date with our couple, what would serve them well, what's most important to them. And then really we talk about it with our assistants ahead of time before the wedding starts, and the venue hosts, and make sure that we're all kind of on the same page to really serve them, each couple, well in their own unique way.
Aww.
Yeah, I probably echo that. It's really hard to think of particular times. I mean, I know I told the story about, you know, incorporating family recipes, but just things like that are things that I feel like here at Catering Works in Laurelbrook, we do strive to do for all our couples, because again, it's one day that you'll not be able to do over again. So we want to make it feel super unique to you, and all of those things. So it's just incorporating things like that, and treating all our couples with that extra care and just above and beyond service is what really drives a lot of Catering Works and Laurelbrook. So we strive to do that with every event, whether it be weddings, rehearsal dinners, or anything like that here, because yeah, we just love them.
Oh yeah. So give me a fun fact about each of you, because that way everybody can understand who you they didn't know this one was coming, guys. So so yeah, give us an idea of like a good fun fact about you guys.
I guess I'll say my fun fact is I'm actually born and raised here in Raleigh. I won't tell you how old I am, but quite a few years old. So I feel like that's kind of fun and different. Not many people are from around here.
I've heard that.
So, yeah, people are like, oh, but yeah. So I mean, I left for a little while and came back, but so I really love the Raleigh area, but I bring a lot of local knowledge in that sense. So I've pretty much lived in every single little town or the main city here in Wake County. So yeah, that's, I guess, one fun fact. I don't know. Some people are probably like, that's boring, but whatever.
I have two. My first one is that I could eat fettuccine Alfredo any time of day, every single day for the rest of my life. So in case you want to know how to get to my heart, that's what and the other thing is that I'm having a baby in like a week.
She's trying to hide
Oh,
it.
that's right.
Yeah.
Oh
so that's
God.
fun.
Oh, are you having a boy or a girl?
A girl. Yep.
Do you have a name?
Yes, her name is June.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that.
Thank you.
What's her middle name?
Olivia.
Oh man, June Olivia. Gosh,
Yeah,
that's
we
awesome.
added the Olivia because it means peace, and me and her daddy were like, we need that in our life.
Just a little bit.
Keep that over our child. Yeah.
Well, is there any kind of advice that you guys could give to a couple while they're planning their wedding so they can keep it in the back of their mind?
I would say get a planner. I know I'm biased. I'm totally biased, but
shameless plug.
I know. But I will
true.
tell you, for my own wedding day, I am a planner, and so I got married when I was a planner, and I thought that I could do it by myself from a planning perspective, and Anissa said no to me because that's Anissa, and it was irreplaceable. It was irreplaceable having her and Bethany there on my wedding day. I had so many friends and family members come up to me and say, wow, so smooth. I mean, also she commands a crowd and is so joyful speaking about both Bethany and Anissa, who are the other lead planners on our team. And I mean, that for me was a big deal because I know how to plan a wedding. I know the ins and outs of a wedding, I would like to say. But I even needed that. I needed that support system, just to have someone advocate for you, remind you what the day really is about. It's really about your marriage, not just the party aspect. And also someone to guide me when I felt convoluted, because no matter who you are and what type of planner you are in your everyday life, the process can just get kind of convoluted because there's so many, with social media, there's so many pictures and boards and, you know, things that you look at and you think that's so beautiful, but that's so expensive. There's so many things that you can kind of drown yourself in all those things. But if you have a planner who's focused on you and your vision and you and your husband or you and your wife, then it helps everything be a lot more peaceful. So yeah.
I'd probably say my biggest point of advice is pretty much echoing that in a sense. Just stay calm, because it does get stressful at times. Like Daryl said, I mean, the age we live in with social media and just even still wedding magazines and wedding shows, open houses, you go and you see these things and you're like, oh my gosh, it's so overwhelming. I say that we just did Forever Bridal this past weekend for all of our services. And, you know, some people were at the front, some people were at the end of their thing. And you could always tell, because if you're at the end, they were overwhelmed. Yeah. They were a little bit freaking out. So for anybody listening to this that feels that way, just like chill. It's going to be okay. Like, don't feel pressured into anything. Just try to stay true to you and what you and your fiance really hold dear. Like Daryl said, just really refocus it on the fact you're getting married, you're about to spend the rest of your life with this person, those type of things. It's easy to get caught up in all the little details, but really just staying true to you and staying calm is all the things I could tell you. And then the rest kind of falls into place, and hiring a planner and hiring a rock star team that we've talked about is very important as well. But those things will fall into place if you stay calm and just focus on the key thing, get married.
Oh yeah. And it's funny because I've talked to 3 other brides, and either they've regretted not getting a wedding planner or they were so thankful that they got a wedding planner. So that, you can't go wrong with that. The stress level, I cannot even imagine would go down exponentially with that.
Well, and a lot of people who don't have planners have someone in that kind of role. They'll have their mom or a family member or a church member lead things, because someone has to tell you when to walk down the aisle. I mean, right. Someone's got to open that door for you. And a lot of times we like to remind people it's their day too. They want to celebrate too. Like, your mom deserves some cred on this day, or, that church member is so special that they want to offer that for you. But at the same time, they deserve to eat cake and hang out too with you on your wedding day, because they are a soul member that helped you get to this day. So, so it's cool that the planner, our only job is to focus on the couple and make sure it goes well. Whereas everyone else, when they're trying to juggle multiple things, they can't really celebrate the day in the same way.
Right. So how can couples find you guys? Because there's a couple of avenues that people can find Harmony Weddings and Laurelbrook. What's the best way?
Well,
I'll let her. I was like, we can both talk. But there are a few ways through the different, obviously, avenues of our different businesses. So go to cateringworks.com. And it'll have a link to our venue. It also has a lot of information on our catering for weddings as well, like menus and things like that that we offer here on site as well as off site. And then I'll let Daryl explain, because she handles the social media.
Yeah. We actually helped design the laurelbrooknc.com website.
Wow.
So you can go on that website. You can also check us out on Instagram. Instagram is such a good way to just kind of see what's happened there before and gauge whether it's your feel in the first place. And then you can hit the link on there to our laurelbrooknc.com website just to inquire about a tour. And same for Harmony Weddings. We have harmonyweddingsnc.com or our Instagram, Harmony Weddings NC.
And I will mention we are on Wedding Wire as well. If people do utilize those type of, I do not believe we're on the Knot. I know we're on the Knot for Catering Works, but I don't believe it's a venue. But yes, and Harmony Weddings. But we are having planned to do an actual virtual tour to post on Wedding Wire, which will also be tied into the website. So folks can actually do a virtual tour of the space, both inside and outside. So like Daryl mentioned, if they're not in the area or they can't make one of the scheduled tour times work in their busy schedule, they can certainly jump on there and look through things. So you definitely check out Wedding Wire as well. But all of those avenues are great ways to see previous events we've had here, whether it be weddings or other events. And Instagram is powerful.
Why can't people do that more often? The virtual tour, that's got to be awesome for the couple to have, because you can only get so much out of pictures.
It's true.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
that was a good call on that.
Well,
thank you both.
They have met a few other venues that I've worked at, and they do seem to really work. Because ultimately, if you do look at it, and let's say it is someone looking for a ballroom and they just stumble upon the Laurelbrook by name or something by capacity or things like that, they're able to then look at it and say, oh, that's not really the look I'm going for. Normally it's the other way around. It's, oh my God, this looks so beautiful, I have to go see it in person. That's ultimately what we want you to think. But, we want to value your time as well. So we want to value our couples. Some people, it's not their thing, but we certainly hope most people it is.
You guys are seriously so awesome. I can't even tell you how much I'm excited that I got on this call today. I've been looking forward to talking to you guys because, like I said, the greenhouse idea has been a dream of mine for the past 2 years or so. And then here you guys are.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
thank you so much. We really appreciate you reaching out. And we're really excited to get our name out there in the wedding industry. And
yes.
Also, you can come hang out anytime in our greenhouse.
I was just going to say, I may either come and say hi to you or just stalk around the premises and just kind of look in.
Come throw a party.
I'm down. I'll do it. I'll be the only one showing up, but that's all right.
We'll come.
Well,
thank you guys so much. And I hope you guys have an awesome rest of the day.
Thank you. You too.